We have a new frontier open source AI model. Z.ai just released GLM 5.3 and it is amazing and strong. I have tested this AI model with some tricky prompts, and in this video I'm going to show you all the tests that we have done, and then I'm going to show you the specs and performance, and also at the end we are going to see where we can use this AI model. So if you're ready, let's get started. Several days ago, Z.ai released the new version of GLM, which is GLM 5.3, and in some areas it is even better than the top AI models out there. So let's start and have a look at the tests that we have done. To run these tests, we have used Z-Code app from Z.ai, which is similar as Codex or Claude Code. You can come here. I will put the link down in the description. You can download it and run it on your computer. To run these tests, I have got the first plan of Z-Code, which is this one. And at some point, I hit the limits. And in a moment, I'm going to show you where we got the limit and how much token we have used as well. So this is the first project that we have here. I wanted to push it and see how it can do on a UI UX project. I wanted to see what is the best design for UI UX for a website that it can create. So here is my prompt. I mentioned that I want you to create the best UI UX design for an online store website selling digital gadgets for video games like gaming mouse, keyboard, mousepad, and much more accessories. I also mentioned that you can use Rangy app on my computer to generate the images for the products that you need using GPT Image 2. And for those of you who don't know what is Rangy, Rangy is a software that I built myself to generate images and videos in high quality on your computer. If you don't have Rangy, you can get it from the link down in the description. So it worked for 12 minutes and it used about 127,000 token, which is a good amount for this kind of project. And it didn't hit any error. At some point, it started to think or write in Chinese, which is a little bit strange, but mostly it sticks to English language, the same language that I asked or wrote my prompt. And here is the result. Let's have a look at it. So this is the website and it looks really cool. It has some effects or animations in it, which looks amazing. So right now I'm just going to show you what it is, and then I'm going to show you the special effect that it added. So it generated all the images using Rangy. It wrote all the prompts for them. So if we come here, we can see the images that it generated. For example, this is one of the results. Then it used abilities of Rangy to cut the product out of the image itself so it can use it as a PNG. And here are some of the results that it made. And then if we come to the website, we can see the products that it has placed here. And if we look at it this way, all the effects or animations are really cool. I wish here the changing color would also change the color of the product, but it doesn't do it. If you scroll down, we can see more of this website, more images. I also liked very much this example that it made here. For example, if I click on this part, we can see the product that it used. It is not showing it perfectly. It needs improvement, but the concept is very good. For example, clicking here, it should be on this position so we can see the mouse. Or here it should be on the mouse pad, and here should be on the headset, which is placed on the left side of the screen. So in selecting the correct position, it made mistakes, but overall it is amazing. And another thing is that it has placed a special effect in this website, which I really liked. Here at the bottom, if you pay attention, it is written type RGB anywhere, which is amazing. Also, it put this effect at the top. So here we have a light icon, which if we click on it, this effect will become active, but I'm going to write it. So I'm going to write down RGB. And when we write RGB, as you may know, gaming products has lights in it, and these lights from time to time, they may change, and it applied the same effect on the website. So if we look at the website, the colors of the products or our titles will change in color, and it will demonstrate that effect, that special effect that we asked for it in the prompt. As you can see, it looks really cool. Let's go for the next example. Here I asked it to create a browser-friendly replicate of Windows 11. Include common apps and programs like Microsoft Office, Microsoft Store. Make sure there are apps I can actually download. Photos, File Explorer, Media Player, Discord, Slack, Spotify. Make sure all these programs actually work. Make sure it runs efficiently on a regular web browser. Now it worked for 50 minutes and we hit the limit at some point, and I waited for some time to get out of that limit. Then again, it worked for 8 minutes. So it worked generally around 60 minutes, and it used about 245,000 tokens. And let's look at the result together. So here's the result. And when we click on it, we can just write a password and we get into our replicate of Windows. So at the bottom, we have our Windows button with some recent projects that we have been using and our apps. And also here we have the Explorer. So we can go to different folders and see different projects. We can move it. It works perfectly. We can see it in different style. And we can click here. We can put it on night light or change the theme. And again, when I activate night light, we can see that it's no longer absolute white and it is more toward yellow, which is amazing. And here we have some apps. And if I come to documents, for example, here we have an Excel project. And if we look at some of these numbers, we can see some formulas here. And if I change one of these formulas, for example, if I add a 0 here, we should see a change at the end of this line and also in other places, which is working perfectly fine. And if I click on save and then close this and open it again, our project was saved successfully. There are other projects here as well. We have a notepad. We have a PowerPoint presentation. Of course, it doesn't have all the features of PowerPoint because that would be very complex, but it was able to create a replicate of it in 1 hour task. We also have a Word file here, which I can, for example, select this word, make it bold or italic, or increase the font size of it, or even we can change the font style as well. And all of them are working perfectly fine. We have some other apps, like we have a Discord app here that we can chat and send a message, and we got some messages, automate messages as a sample to show that the system is working. We have a Slack here, and again here we can also send a message and receive a sample response. We also have a Spotify here we can use to play some song. Let's play some music. It is working perfectly fine. It made the music. It's not perfect music, but it is working. We can right click on the screen, go to display setting, change the brightness, or go to the next tab, change the theme, or change the background, or change the color of it, the main color of the windows, and all of them are working fine. We have different apps here. We can open, for example, photos, or the other apps like calculator. Everything is working perfectly fine. Let's go for the next example. On the next example, I asked it to create a 3D fighting game. So I wrote down, I want you to create a 3D fighting game. I have created 3 characters, 3D rigged with a train for this game, and I placed them all in the folders below with their images. And I gave them the address for the folder, which include all those files. And I also mentioned in which folder I want it to create the project. So regarding creating the 3D models and the train, I came on, first of all, I used Rangy to create the design of the characters that I want. For example, this is one of them, or this is the train that I asked. And for example, this is the prompt. I want a large train in a spaceship. It should be heroic for video games on a solid blue color background. I did the same, for example, for our models here, for our characters, and here's the prompt as well. And then I got these images and sent it to two different platforms. One of them is Tripo3D.ai, and I upload the image here. It created the object with the textures and materials, and I also went to the animate tab, clicked on rig, and then it added a skeleton to my character, and then I added some animations to it that, for example, it is Viking. And then I exported all of these in GLB format. I also tried the same thing. For example, for this character, which we saw, I used this platform, Meshy.ai. I will show you the difference in the game as well. This is also the same as Tripo3D.ai, but some differences in some areas, some differences in the details that it made or in the animation. I think the animation here looks a bit better comparing to Tripo3D.ai. So the first two characters that we have here, I have made them with Tripo3D.ai with our train. But for the third character, I used Meshy.ai to just see the difference, how it would be. So I downloaded all of them, placed them in a folder, and gave it to GLM 5.3 and asked it to create this game. It worked for 35 minutes. Then I tested it. It wasn't working. We couldn't see the characters and we couldn't play. So I asked it to fix it. It thought for 12 minutes. Again, I tested it. It wasn't working. Again, it worked for 2 minutes. We hit the limit and we continued. After some time, again, it worked for 20 minutes and over and over and over. And finally, we weren't able completely to play the game. For this task, we have spent 334,000 tokens, and here's the result. So if we come here and just play on the simple one, I'm just going to click and select this character. We can see the characters and they are strangely moving. They are very big comparing to the train, but we don't have any animations, and it's very hard to play or understand. Part of it is working, part of it it's not. Generally, the game wasn't successful. But I have run the same test on Claude Opus 5 in one prompt, providing the same prompt and the same folder for the objects, and it did created this result. So here I'm gonna select this character against this one. We can see the size is good. We can defend, and we can fight successfully. Now, one thing is that the animation of the right character was designed by Meshy AI, but the animation of the left character was designed completely with Opus 5. On the next example, I asked it to use a software on my computer to create a music. I asked it to create a song from Yanni, which is called One Man's Dream. I wanted to see if it can recreate existing music exactly to the point and how it would do it. So this is the prompt that I wrote. It worked for 6 minutes and we have used 135,000 tokens, and here is the result. So this is the software. I didn't mention how to use this software. I just mentioned it. It is on my computer and you can use it. This is the project. And if I play it, it would be like this. It wrote some notes, and if we go further, for example, if we play here, we can hear some sound, but first of all, it is not Yanni's One Man's Dream music. it is completely different. So it doesn't have access to those songs, or it doesn't know how to create or recreate those songs. But for sure, it used some of the sound and instruments on this app to create some notes, to write some notes and create a music. It's not perfect. It's very hard to listen to. I have seen some other examples on the internet that people got better songs than this. But generally, with pushing it, we can get better results. But as much as I tried, I couldn't get a song that we already know. Now let's have a look at the performance and some of the benchmarks. So here is a performance evaluation of GLM 5.3, which is in blue, and GLM 5.2, the previous version, in green. And as you can see, there is massive difference in some cases. And at some point, GLM 5.3 is even better than the other frontier models out there. Now notice that here it was compared with Kimi K3, Fable 5, and GPT 5.6 Sol. Claude Opus 5 is not here, which I think that could be also ranked high, but it is doing a really good job comparing to the other AI models. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it is an open source model, but the open source version is not out yet. They mentioned that it will come out in 2 weeks after they do some safety evaluations. Here is a chart that we can compare the GLM 5.3 with the previous version, and as you can see, even the low performance version of GLM 5.3 is even much better than the max version of GLM 5.2, and you can see how good it is doing comparing to Fable 5 and also Claude Opus 4.8. I wish they have compared it also with Claude Opus 5 as well. One of the strength point of this AI model is that it is really good in cybersecurity. As you can see, it is ranking even higher than all the other AI models out there. And here's a test that they have done on a project, and they found 2,436 issues with that project regarding cybersecurity, which 1,000 of them is critical. You should also know that this GLM 5.3 is actually GLM 5.2. It's the same thing, and all they did, they just trained it more. They have made this open source model Slime that you can just come here in the GitHub and use this project. They have used this system that they have made to improve their own existing model. So for example, if I have an AI model and I want to improve it, I can come here and use a Slime to improve it as well. So they just use this system to train their own existing model and make it much better. And you have seen the result, how good it was. I will put the link of all of these pages down in the description if you want to read more about them. And finally, where to use it. If you want to use it on the browser, you can just come to chat.zai, and at the top on the left side, they just recently added GLM 5.3. You can come here and select it and use it. Also, if you want to use it on your computer, same as me, on this app that they have here, you can come to this page and just download Z code and run it on your computer. Unfortunately, they don't have their own official extension on VS Code, and as soon as they make it, I will announce it here in this channel as well. So that was all about this AI model. In the comments, write how do you feel about it? Do you think it's as good as the other frontier models or not? But we have to be honest, it is an open source AI model, and that makes it amazing. So if you're interested in this kind of videos, do not forget to like the video and leave a comment. This way I will understand you're interested, and I will make more trainings like this. If you are not yet subscribed to our channel, click on subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss our upcoming trainings and tutorials on AI. I hope you have enjoyed this training, and I will see you soon on the next video.